All right, so if you're running a business with a lot of floor space, you've got a choice to make. You can go with the old school mop and bucket, or you can get a big, shiny floor scrubber. But what if I told you that cheap mop is actually costing you a fortune? Today, we're going to dig into the real numbers and find out what the true cost of clean really is. And this is the question, right? Every facility manager, every business owner looks at the price tag on a commercial scrubber and thinks, whoa, is that really worth it? It's so easy to see that initial cost and just stick with what you know. But is that actually the smart money move? Let's find out. To get to the bottom of this, we have to look way past the price of the machine itself. See, the real cost of cleaning is wrapped up in things you might not even think about, like labor hours, safety risks, and even how long your floors are going to last. So it really just boils down to this. You've got two paths. With a mop, you pay a little bit now, but you keep paying and paying and paying in labor and other costs forever. Or with a scrubber, you make a bigger investment up front that drastically slashes those costs for years to come. It's a classic battle of short-term spending versus long-term saving. Okay, so let's zoom in on that traditional mop for a second. I mean, it's been the go-to tool for, what, centuries? But when you really look at it, especially in a big commercial space, you start to see some serious problems that go way beyond just a little leftover dirt. Let's be real about what this stuff means for a business. That mop, it's often just pushing dirty, germy water around instead of picking it up. Not great for hygiene. And all that water left on the floor, that's a huge slip and fall hazard. A lawsuit just waiting to happen. Plus, that leftover grime actually grinds away at your flooring over time, meaning you'll have to replace it sooner. Ouch. So, if mopping is the problem, what's the solution? Well, this is where the modern floor scrubber comes in. Let's see how these things are engineered to solve every single one of the problems we just talked about. And you can see it's a total game changer. A scrubber doesn't just spread bacteria. It actively lifts it and sucks it away. Its vacuum system leaves the floor basically dry and ready to walk on immediately. Goodbye slip hazards. And because it cleans so much deeper, it protects your floors, making them last longer and giving your whole facility a much sharper, more professional look. All right, we've talked about the concepts, but now it's time to talk about the cash. This is where it gets really interesting. We're about to do a full-on ROI showdown to see which method is actually the expensive one. To make sure this isn't just theory, we're going to use a specific real-world example. Let's imagine a 5,000 square meter facility. Think of a large retail store, a small warehouse, something like that. This will give us some solid ground to compare the actual costs. Okay, here it is, the whole story in one chart. You've got your traditional mopping on the left and a floor scrubber on the right. Now I want you to really focus on two lines here, staff needed and the annual labor cost that comes right after it. This is where the magic happens. First, just look at the staffing. To clean our facility with mops, you need a team of 4 to 5 people. With a ride-on scrubber, you need one person, just one. A single operator can do the same amount of work as a whole crew. And that has a massive, massive impact on your biggest ongoing expense, your payroll. And here's what that payroll number can look like. With that team of cleaners, you could be spending up to $100,000 a year. That's a huge recurring cost that hits your budget year after year after year. Now watch this. Switch to that one scrubber operator, and your annual cost drops to as low as $30,000. That's a potential savings of $70,000 a year. Let that sink in. $70,000 just on labor. So remember how we were worried about that big upfront investment? Well, when you're saving that much money every year, that machine stops looking like an expense and starts looking like a money-making asset. So how long does it take for that asset to pay you back? The answer is incredible, just 18 to 24 months. Within 2 years, the money you saved on labor completely covers the initial cost of the machine. After that, every single dollar you save goes straight to your bottom line. And hey, this isn't some fantasy scenario. The data backs it up and again. As it says right here, the savings from labor and chemicals alone are typically enough to pay for the machine within 2 years. The financial case is, well, it's pretty hard to argue with. So when you look at all the data, the whole question just flips completely on its head. It stops being about, can I afford to buy this expensive machine? And it becomes about the enormous, ongoing cost of sticking with the mop. It really makes you ask, how much more money are you willing to lose year after year by not making the switch?